I know most of my followers enjoy that 90s CGI art often associated with 90s electronic music, done in early 3D modeling software like Bryce 3D. Towards the tail end of the 90s and early 2000s, a new art style started to get popular known as Metalheart, or simply just abstract renders, and in the past few years it's started to gain traction again. I'm going to show you how to make Metalheart renders in Lightwave 3D 2024. Lightwave 3D is one of the OG affordable 3D modeling tools that sadly lost a ton of steam in the past 20 years. It was originally released on the Amiga before being ported over to Windows and Mac in the late 90s. And a year or so ago, Lightwave was actually sold to new owners who are pumping life back into the tool. And Lightwave 3D 2025 is actually on the horizon, and I think now is a great time to get into Lightwave, as it's one of the few 3D modeling tools that still offers a perpetual license. It's also a lot easier to learn than Blender. All right, we're gonna start with a very classic model, what I call the old tentacle ball. All right, basically you just got your 3D modeling program. This is one of the easiest things to do. So we're gonna come to the Create tab here, and over on the left under Primitives, we're gonna click Ball, and then we'll see our icon change to this little ball. So in my top view here, and if you don't see the top view, you can just click this drop down, select Top XZ, and make sure it's set to wireframe. Left click, hold, drag out your mouse, right? Then we're gonna come to this back view here, and if you don't see the back view, open the drop down, change it to back. Left click, hold, and drag up. And then you'll see in the top right in that perspective view, there's our 3D model. Now, yours may not look like this, so what you're gonna do is press the N key, which is known as the numerical in Lightwave. So nearly any tool, when it's selected, you can press the N key to access additional options for that tool. What you're gonna wanna do here is come to this drop down, click Reset. Then you're gonna come to Tessellation here, and let's just change the segments to 2, right? That looks good, we can close that. And then to drop the tool, you can see it's still selected, we press space. Now our spiky ball is all the way out there. We wanna get a little closer to it, so a shortcut to that, if you ever get lost in this window, is just press A, and it will zoom you in on the object in the scene. Now I can hold tab here, left click, and kind of spin this around to take a peek at it. Same with any of these other windows. If I hold, Alt, left click, I can kind of pan around there. Or in each viewport in the top right, you're gonna see some controls. Left click and hold, I can kind of pan around. Left click, hold, rotate. Left click, hold, zoom in and out. Press A to zoom back in, right? And then I can also expand any of these. So let's say I want to see this perspective view big. I can click this icon and it will give me this nice big view here. Perfect. What we're going to do is now come to modify up at the top. And what you'll notice in Lightwave is as I select these different tabs at the top, over on the left, you're going to see different tools. Pretty straightforward. If you want to create something, you go to create, you have all different options here, tools to create. If you want to modify something, come to modify, you have tools for modify. Let's come to multiply here, and we're going to grab the magic bevel tool. We can see it's active here, right? And then we can see on our model all these orange handles. Now what happens here is if I left click and drag out, I can kind of extrude out these different faces here to create these nice little tentacles. And so I can just start to do that all over the model here to kind of create this weird alien life form rather. Right? This is like so cliche late 90s 3D modeling, and if you go look at some art from the 90s where you see a form that looks like this, it's very likely Lightwave was used. But essentially this is what we can do, right? We can come out, create this little form here, and then same thing if I press N to open the numerical panel. There's all sorts of options I can apply to this magic bevel tool to alter like what's actually happening within here. I'm not gonna go super in depth into it. There's a lot of cool things you can do with it. For now, we'll keep it super basic and just keep drawing a bunch of these out here. So if I come back up here, click this guy, right? I can then see all my different views again. We can see how that object is getting modified. And then what I'm going to do here is just press space to drop the tool. And there's our little crazy alien life form. Now it's definitely like, if I zoom in here, like definitely pretty blocky, right? If I zoom in, it's not very smooth. And so one way we can fix that is in the bottom here, make sure sub patch is selected, and then just press tab, and you'll see, boom, our model becomes nice and smooth, right? So we go from that to this by just sub patching the model in Lightwave. Very easy to do. Press tab. Again, you can boom, boom, press tab to cycle back and forth between it, but that is going to smooth out our model and give us this nice little blobby texture here. Let's say we like this. So you need to save your model. You're going to go to File, Save Object here, and we're just going to save this as whatever. You're going to get this .lwo extension here, and we can go ahead and save that. So we have a pretty basic model here. Your first model, very easy to do. Look at that thing. Classic 90s little sci-fi blobby future sound of London type of look. So let's say we're happy with this. We want to texture it now. We're going to have to send the object to layout, right? So we've already saved it. We're going to come to this drop down and select send object to layout. That's going to automatically open layout if it's not already open and dump that object into a basic scene here. Now, layout, very similar layout to modeler, right? Tabs at the top. When we select different tabs, we get different tools over on the left. First thing, if you don't see a view like mine, you can press O and open this view here. You're going to go to current scene, and in the viewport layout, that's where you can select like different types of viewport layouts here. Really doesn't matter what you use, whatever is preferable to yourself. What I like to do is on the big perspective is go into this drop down and change it to perspective view, or I'm sorry, rather camera view. So this is going to show us essentially what our final render will look like. We're looking at it through the perspective of the camera object. The next thing I can do is come to this drop down and select VPR. So that's essentially going to show us our textured object in that scene. So if I were to render my image, this is exactly what it would look like. Now, over on the left here in these three different windows, I like to always have a top view, so I can see top down and kind of move things around. And I love this schematic view. So if you select the drop down, select schematic, this is essentially going to show you all the objects in the scene. And so if I wanted to move the camera, instead of trying to search around in one of these views, I could just click camera, it selects the camera, and then I can come to my top view, grab the handle, move the camera forward, or move it left and right, whatever I need to do. And then let's say, oh, I want to move my object. Here's my object, TFMH. I can click that, and now it's automatically selected. So highly recommend you use this schematic view, at least in one perspective here. So bam, there's our thing. Let's say we want to texture the object. We're going to come over and click Surface Editor here. And the Surface Editor opens, and we're going to see our object listed in there. And what we can then do is come in, change the material type. So we can use principled BSD DF, which is super popular these days, or you can access all these different material engines or whatever we want to call them. I'm going to make this very simple. I'm going to go to presets, open preset shelf, and then within here, if I come into built-in, you're going to see some built-in presets that you can use with Lightwave. So if you go to like metal, let's say we want to use chrome, we can double click on chrome, load settings. That's going to apply that chrome texture automatically, right? That we can see on our render there. Now, if I come into Metalheart surfaces, I have some that I've created as well. You know, all sorts of different types of textures here. You know, as you get familiar with this, you're going to go in, build your own types within here. If you're just getting started, go to built-in, just grab one of these ones that come with Lightwave. I recommend a nice metal texture. We have that. Very sexy, right? So what I'm going to do is grab my camera again here, and I'm going to come down to properties here, or I can just press P, and this is going to open up here. Now, let's say I want my final render to be 1920 by 1080. I'm just going to change the width and the height here. And then I'm actually going to change my focal length to like a 5. So that gives us kind of that more dramatic view here. And I could then grab my camera here in this top view. If it's not selected, come to your schematic view, grab the camera, and then I can grab this handle and just move it closer to my render. I could also come into the current camera view here, hold left click, and kind of pan around go up and down if I hold right click, or I can press Y, which will give me rotation, and then I can left click, kind of change that rotation, right click to bank, right? All sorts of different things. Press T to go back to move. And I can kind of zoom in a little bit here. Perfect, looking good. What I'm actually gonna do is grab the object here again. So I've selected the object in the schematic view. I'm gonna go to modify and I'm gonna click size. And I am just going to zoom in this top view here, hold left click and push up, and that's just gonna increase the size of that object there. Cool, there we go. Very basic, guys. Like, again, we're not gonna go in depth on lighting. Like, we have a very basic background here. It's actually a gradient backdrop. Not gonna touch the lighting. We're just gonna keep it as is. Let's say we want to render. We're gonna go to render. We're gonna come down to render frame. We're gonna click that, and it's going to start to render the image. It's done. I can click continue, and then it shows us that final rendered image here. All right, I can zoom in on it, zoom out, all sorts of fun here. Now, if I wanted to save this or export it out, a lot of ways to do it. The easy way is come to File, Save RGBA. You have all these different formats within here. If you wanted to save it as a transparent, so basically no background, easy way to do that is Lightwave PNG 32. Click that, and then we can save this into wherever, right? We can see it's transparent, right? So the background is not on there. And this is like the classic way. So now I can bring this into Photoshop and it will be literally just the model. Now, let's say you want the background with it. Let's say you have like very dramatic, like a black background with some great text or effects, lighting, etc. You can just go to File, Save RGBA, and then save it as like a JPEG. So LW Lightwave Tut BG, right? So you'll see the difference there. We get the background within there. All right, folks, and that's a very basic example there.